This is North Carolina's original copy of the Bill of Rights. In 1789, North Carolina did not ratify the Constitution as it was proposed because the colonial leaders were very concerned that there was not enough of individual protection of rights. So they declined to ratify the Constitution. So once Congress convenes without North Carolina and Rhode Island, one of their very first actions was to propose a Bill of Rights then, and this got sent to North Carolina along with the other states. George Washington sent it to us, and once we saw the Bill of Rights, we were very pleased to then ratify the Constitution, join the Union, and we ratified the Bill of Rights as well. In 1865, as the Civil War was ending up, Sherman's troops came into Raleigh and were occupying the state capitol, where the office of the Secretary of State was, and all the state's archives were kept in the capitol at the time. And Union soldiers were running in and out of the capitol and causing lots of problems, and one of them picked up this document out of the Secretary of State's office, put it in his pocket, and took it home with him to Ohio. It took a long time for the state of North Carolina to get that document back. That soldier sold it to a friend of his in 1866 for $5, and that gentleman's name was Charles Shotwell, and his family had it for a number of years. Eventually, they sold it, and when the people that had it last tried to sell it in 2003 to the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia, the state of North Carolina became aware that this copy was being offered for sale, and the federal government and the state government cooperated on an undercover operation to pretend like we were going to buy the document, but it was really an FBI agent. And once the document came forward, it was seized under a warrant, and then we litigated in court to get it back. And it came back to us for good in 2008. Today, 10 years ago, was when the document surfaced for the last time in that transaction to be sold to the museum, as I mentioned, that ended in a seizure. So we're celebrating 10 years since this document really came back to North Carolina. We don't have it out very often because it's pretty faded, and so it's not out on display often. And we thought we would take the opportunity to recognize all the hard work of the people in the Department of Justice for getting this back for us, and let the public have a chance to see it. Let some school kids see it. They're surprised at its size. They're surprised that it's pretty faded. They're interested in how Congress is spelled at the top. So it's a neat thing for them. They're not used to seeing documents this big and all handwritten. And so it's fun to talk with them about what documents were like in those days and how it came to us and how it got stolen and how it got returned.
The Lieutenant Governor of the great state of North Carolina, Dan Forrest.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's great to see you today, and it's great that you are here for this momentous occasion in the state of North Carolina. We get to unveil today our Bill of Rights, which only comes out once every 10 years. We went away for a long time. This Bill of Rights was so important to our founding fathers that North Carolina was the 12th out of 13 states to ratify the Constitution, to sign the Constitution, which is the law of our land. That's because our founding fathers in our state believed that you as individuals needed to have certain rights protected, and that the government wasn't supposed to be in charge of all those rights, but you were supposed to be in charge of those rights. So they wrote the Bill of Rights, and upon the writing of the Bill of Rights, our state, North Carolina, and all the colonies signed the Constitution, and that became the law of the land. And then this Constitution disappeared in 1865. It was stolen from this Capitol building, and it went away for a long time. It was held in private hands. And then we finally got it back 10 years ago. And now you have the opportunity to see this Bill of Rights. You'll be one of the very few people in the history of our state that have ever seen this original copy that was actually written back in the 1700s. So right now we have the great honor of opening up the Bill of Rights, displaying it to you for this period of time for you to be able to see it. So we officially declare on behalf of Secretary Klutz, the Governor, and the state of North Carolina, that this exhibit is officially open. So I hope you enjoy it.